Good morning students, welcome back to online classes. Last class we have discussed that is the problem solving techniques. First we have seen the problem definition, analysis, then algorithm, flowchart and different kinds of algorithm like to find the area of a circumference of area and circumference of a circle, to add two numbers, subtract, multiplication in your algorithm and find the largest numbers between two numbers, three numbers, simple interest, compound interest. And next we have gone to the flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but your representation, pictorial representation of an algorithm. We call it as a flowchart. In that we have designed a number of flowcharts for a given program or problem. Then we have discussed what is the importance of your flowchart. Then we have gone to the advantages and disadvantages of your flowchart in last sessions. Today's session, next problem solving stages. Next session, next topic is nothing but your coding. So it just comes into your development or design part. So here what is coding means, you are going to translating your, that is whatever algorithm or flowchart into a program instructions, that is with its syntax and its logic using a programming language. You know that algorithm and flowchart does not use a specific language. It does not follow any rules or syntax or any kind of logic. Just you wrote a plain language or formal procedures. But when you keep as a this was as a blueprint, that is nothing but your algorithm and your flowchart, keeping as it is, you are going to translate with help of your algorithm and your flowchart. You are going to translate this algorithm and flowchart into a programming language. So each step of an algorithm may consist of sequences of instruction in your programming language. You are using a specific programming language. In this, you are going to check for a condition. You are going to check for the logic, syntax. Such a thing we call as the coding. Once again explain. Coding is nothing but translating your algorithm or a flowchart into a programming language, which is going to check with its logic and its syntax. It's going to check for its logic and syntax. Here you are going to use a proper programming language. Such a thing we call as coding. So in this coding, you are going to use any one of the high level language. Either it can be a C language, C++ language, Java, or any kind of Visual Basic, C++, any kind of high level programming language can be used. So your coding is nothing but you are going to translating an algorithm or flowchart into a programming language. You are going to use any kind of programming language. Here each step of algorithm is converted to one or more sequence of instruction. Here you are going to check for logic and syntax. And here the programming language can be C, C++, Java. So here what this coding tells means, you are going to translating an algorithm or a flowchart into a programming language. So this programming language can be any of the high level programming language. Whatever algorithm you have written for a particular problem or a particular problem analysis, for that program you are going to each step of algorithm, it can be converted into one instruction or more than one instruction, that is sequences of instruction. So in this, in your coding, while doing an algorithm and flowchart, it not going to use a specific language. You are not going to check for any logic and syntax. You are not going to follow certain rules. But in your programming language, when you convert it into your coding, that is your program code, you are going to check for a logic and syntax. So you are going to, what are the high level programming language which you are going to convert it into your algorithm and flowchart into high level languages like C, C++, Java, Visual Basic, or Android, any kind of things come into this high level programming language. So this is about your coding. Next we'll see what is testing or debugging. Next stage of problem analysis is debugging. So debugging is nothing but the process of detecting and correcting errors. It's the process of detecting and correcting errors are we called as debugging. Errors is also called as bugs. We call it as also bugs. That is, debugging is nothing but it is a process of detecting and correcting errors. So after coding the program, you have to go for a debugging. In debugging, you are going to detect and correct the errors. If you are going to find out any errors in your programming, if in the program code if you found any errors, you are going to detect that errors, correct that errors. So errors is also called as bugs. Here in debugging, the debugging process in your problem solving stages or program development stages, it takes time consuming. It takes time consuming phase. See, debugging phase is also called as the time consuming phase. Since it's going to detect and correct the errors after coding the program, you are going to debug. So in that debugging, each line by line or each instruction should be detected and corrected properly. So during development stages or during development of your program, this phase is nothing but is a time consuming phase. And here this debugging is also called as verification. This debugging is also called as verification. You are going to verify the errors. That is nothing but debugging phase is also called as the verification phase. And in a debugging, what it takes means first you after converting, that is your program, the coding, that is not after performing the coding is being done or program is being developed. So you are going to compile it. You are going to compile it. When you compile, you are going to check for the errors. So during compilation, you are going to check the errors. Such an error we call as the syntax errors. So you are going to study different types of errors in the upcoming topics. So you are going to check for the syntax errors. That is the rules. According to the rules, if there is any that is a grammatical structure rules, if it is misplaced, such an error we call as the syntax errors. You are going to check for the syntax errors. Again, you are going to compile and execute the errors and execute the program. See, once the program is developed, you are going to compile it and check for the error. If the error is occurred, such an error we call as the syntax errors. Again, you are going to recompile that and execute the program. Okay, till the error is free from the errors. You are going to keep on compiling unless it is free from the errors. So during the execution, if you find any errors, during execution, if there is any error, such an error we call as semantic error. Or we call it as, see, logically we have some logic errors. If logic is invalid, that is logic error. So again, in such a case, again you are going to recompile and execute the program. So once all the errors, that is your syntax errors, semantic errors is free from. If you find, see, in your compilation, if there is no error, there is no syntax error, again you are going to recompile and execute. During execution, if there is some kind of errors, it's nothing but semantic errors, that is nothing but logic error, invalid use of logic, invalid, that you are going to study what is syntax, semantic, runtime error, logic errors. So during the execution, you have an error, such a thing we call it as a semantic error, that is invalid logic error will be occurred. Again, in such a case, you are going to recompile and execute the program. So these are the steps involved during your debugging. Once again, I explain. Debugging is nothing but process of detecting and correcting errors we call it as debugging. Errors is also called as bugs. During debugging, with the development stages of a program, it is a time consuming phase. So debugging is also called as the verification phase. So in the debugging, what are all steps involved is, first after making the coding, after doing a program, the coding program, it's compiled and checked for the error. If any error has been occurred, that error we call as the syntax error. The rules should be followed, or grammatical structure programming error is occurred. In such a case, we call as the syntax errors. We are going to study detailing about these types of errors in upcoming topics. Next, again you have to recompile and execute the program till you keep on recompiling and execute the program till the program is free from the errors. So after if there is any error, if there might be any errors. Such an errors we called as the semantic errors. So that is nothing but logically invalid logic is being, that is expected result will not be your output. So that is nothing but your logic errors. Such errors again it be recompiled and executed the program. So these all the process is done by during your debugging. So next we are going to see what is testing. Next stages of your problem solving is testing. In testing, it's going to check the process whether it is works correctly according to the user requirements. In testing, it is a process going to check the process checks whether it works correctly according to user requirements. According to user requirements. See, testing is nothing but it is a process which is going to check the process whether it works correctly according to the user requirements. Such a thing we call as testing. So after doing, you are going to test for the program whether it runs according to the user requirement. For a particular input, the output, the desired output is being expected or what. So testing is done. So in the testing, you are going to check how you are going to test for a program. So you are going to give a large number of inputting, that is larger complicated inputs for the type desired output is going to, whether for the input that desired output is being occurred or not. So testing is nothing but is a process of checking whether it works correctly according to the user requirements. That we call as testing. In a testing, as it is in your debugging, it is also called as verification. In a testing, it is also called as validation. We call it as validation. Testing phase is also called as the validation phase. So once again I explain, testing is nothing but you are going to check for the program whether it is going to work correctly or according to the user requirements. You are going to check for the input what you have fed, you got the desired output or not. So how you are going to check? Not only simple input, you are going to give a complicated large number of inputs. For that you are going to get a desired output. So you are going to keep on trial, you are going to keep on check for each desired input, you are going to get the output correctly or what. So in a testing, this testing phase is also called as the validation phase. Next stages of your problem analysis is the documentation, program documentation. So next is program documentation. This is program documentation is a written text, and commands. That is, it is a program documentation is a written text and commands in order to help the programmer or help the user to modify, understand, easy to use and to maintain. What it tells means program documentation is nothing but a written text and commands. In order, it helps the user. Suppose I am saying it's a program documentation in a more simple way. Is a process of the program documentation is a process of program documentation is necessary when a program, if I am a user and want to use that particular program, with help of program documentation, it helps me to understand it properly. That is, in order to help in modify it properly, understand it properly, easy to use, as well as the maintenance. If a program is not properly documented, it will not be reused again. So once a program is documented properly, a program documentation is done very easily. That is, it can consist of commands and written text, some data. So how to use that program, how to modify it, how to all that written commands and text helps to modify, understand and maintain it. So if a program document is done properly, it can be reused for the future. If I want to use the program, it can be reused for the future enhancement. If a program is not properly documented, then you have to if you want to modify some program, then you have to recode again. You have to recode again from the start of the program. So a good program documentation should be done in order to help the user. If I am using that program, it helps the user in order to understand it, modify it, easy to use and even to maintain the program. So the reuse can be done in a future enhancement. That is nothing but your program documentation. In program documentation, there are two types of documentation. One it is internal documentation. Second one is external documentation. See, first one is your internal documentation, second one is external documentation. This internal documentation is also called as the technical documentation. It is also called as the technical documentation. See, documentation come in two types. One is internal documentation, second one is external documentation. Internal documentation is also called as technical documentation. This is for the users who going to code for the later stages, that is for future stages. Like how it will be used in this documentation, any meaningful variables, it is going to provide a programming with meaningful variables. It consists of meaningful variables and it has a commands for each modules. And it can have in your documentation, your technical documentation, it consists of line spacing. That is where and all you need to commands. That is line spacing, indentions, the documents, etc. See, a document, internal document is also called as a technical document. In that document, how it helps. So if you are using any data or variables, that going to provide for what purpose that variables or data has been used, that is meaningful variables, and each has a commands or variables. So it is going to provide for commands for each particular modules. For each line you have a commands. Along with that you have a line space or breakings and indentation. That is nothing paragraph design, how it can be used. So all these documents can be contained in your internal documentation. Where it has an external documentation, it has three types of documents. One it is user's manual. Second one is your administrative manual. Third one is your director's manual. See, in your external documentation, you have three types of documents. User manual, that it provides an application, how a user can use that particular document. This application is used for the users. Next, administrative manual. This is an administrative manual. It is used for the application that is used for latest. That is how we are going to later in future how it can, the administrator can make use of, the developer can make use of that particular document. Next, director's manual, where this it consists of tables, dictionary, that is directory tables, files, everything will be stored. That is how the file will be stored, the directives, how the storage location and tables, memory allocation, everything will be provided in this particular director's manual. That can be used to modify any of your programs. So this is nothing but your external documents. So once again I explain what is program documentation. Program documentation is nothing, it's a process of when you want to use a program, particular program, when you properly document it, means it helps the user to use the program in order to easy to understand, modify it, maintain it, and even to maintain and easy to use it. So this helps the program documentation. If a program is not properly documented, you want to make use, you want to reuse that program, it cannot be reused, you want to make use of this program. If it is not properly documented, you have to code, you have to design a program from the starting itself. So there are two types of documentation. One is internal documentation, second one is external documentation. In internal documentation, it is also called as the technical documentation. This is used for the users or the programmers for the later stage. You want to modify anything, you are going to make use of this internal document. How you can, what all necessity, what all it be present is, if you are using in that particular program any data, it is going to give for what purpose that meaningful, that variables or data has been used, and even for each module, for each line you have a commands and remarks will be given for what purpose that particular module is being used, that is commands. And line spacing, all that adjustment or alignation of your documents can be done with help of your line spacing, indentation, etc. Everything, blank space, everything will be provided in this particular internal documentation. In an external documentation, this is consists of 3 documents. One is for user's manual, administrator manual, director's manual. Or user's manual, this application supports, when you go for users, how it will be helpful for a program, what should be done, what will be the input, what kind of application you can use, that helps the users. So next in your administrative manual, so in administrative manual, that is the developer. I am an administrator, I am going to develop, I am not user, I am going to modify something, I am going to update something. In such a cases, this administrative manual can be used for the future stages. In a directive manual, it makes use of the direct, that is the how the cables and low level disk, how it will be stored, what all that is the features of your system, how where it will be this data, how much number of memory bytes it is going to occupy. Everything will be given in a particular directory manuals. In this hashing tables or file, low level disk files, everything will be, details will be given. With help of this, the programmer or administrator can make use of for any updation should be done to a program. So that is, you can reuse the program in your future enhancement. So this is about your program documentation. Next we will see program maintenance. Students, the last stage of a problem methodology solving is program maintenance. What is this program maintenance? It's a process of updating or providing a new version of a program so that the program meets, that is, what is this maintenance? You have documented, proper documentation can be reused again for the future enhancement. After documentation, it should be maintained in such a way that whatever new version of the user, today's what present user requirements is met, that can be achieved with help of your program maintenance. That is the process of updating or providing a new version of a program so that the program meets the present day requirements of the user. That is, what is this program maintenance means? Whatever updating or doing to your program, to a problem, it should provide a new version. The document, after documentation, it should be maintained in such a way that is, each and every day, that is whatever product or whatever materials it has its that is, it will be outdated. So as the requirements changes, that the technology changes, the product or the whatever technique or whatever item you purchase, it should keep on updated so that it should be keep on maintained. In such a cases, in real time examples, like that a program whatever you have maintained, it should be maintained in such a way that whatever newer version of a programs, that is present day version, whatever requirements needed by the user should be given that is, with help of a program maintenance, it can be achieved. Such a thing required as the program maintenance. That is, process of updating or providing a new version of a program so that the program meets the present day requirements of the user. What are all required for the following? Why program maintenance is required? For the following reasons. Why a program maintenance is required for the following reasons? First one, if there is any errors has been present that is not detected in the development stages and even in the testing stages, it can be detected during the usage of a program. With help of program maintenance, you can detect the errors by using the usage of the programs according to the user requirement of the current user requirement. Next, user needs change over a period of time. That is, what it tells means, that is user requirement keep on changes over a period of time. So with help of program maintenance, you can keep on updating the new version of things, or new version of your requirement of the user can be updated. For that, you need a program maintenance can be done. So existing program is not functioning. So whatever data your program you have maintained, that is whatever program is there, it is not functioning to the satisfaction of the user. You need to modify. In that you have to add some additional information. How you add an additional information with help of the program maintenance of your existing materials or existing programs. Next, the user has purchased a new system. Suppose I have purchased a new computer hardware and my program is not working properly on that particular new system. So with help of documentation or with help of guidance or maintenance, you are going to see how the program can run into a new system. Maintenance can be performed with help of that program. That is how a new system can work, that program how it can run on a new environment or new platform. So every details can be maintained as a document. It provides as a guideline or it provides as a text, that is what is a it acts as a guideline for a new program, new enhancement of your program. For that you go for a program maintenance. Next, uses a new type. Suppose I am using a new type of graphical. I have already told graphical user interface. That is nothing but you are going to interact with the computer with the help of an interface called graphical user interface, and feels that the existing, whatever I am feeling that existing one is not well satisfied to the user, then I can be changed to the new user, that is a graphical user interface. How to change to a new user of a graphical user interface? That also it can be maintained in your program development. That is in a program maintenance, you can, everything can be given as a guidelines for each, the new version according to, once the documentation is done, the next version is you have to maintain the program. So in that, with help of programming maintenance only, a new version of the present requirement of the user can be satisfied. So these are the 6 stages of your problem analysis. First one is your problem definition, then you are going to analysis, third one is your algorithm and flowchart. Today's class we will see what is coding. Coding is nothing but the translating of an algorithm and program or flowchart into a program using a specific programming language. In that you are going to check for a logic and a syntax, whatever errors, that is logic and rules you are going to check. So that is nothing but coding. Next we have seen what is debugging. Debugging is nothing but the process of detecting and correcting the errors. Errors is also called as the bugs. In that you have seen what all you require. So for that, first you are going to check for the errors. If there is no error is being present, if there is an error is occurred during compilation, that error we call it as the syntax errors. Again you are going to compile it, and unless you are free from the errors, you keep on compiling the program. Once the compilation is free from the errors, you are going to execute the program. During execution also you get a kind of errors that we call as the semantic errors. So that is nothing but invalid logic you have used in your program, that we call as the semantic errors. Again you are going to compile. So this process of debugging is also called as the verification. Next we have gone to what is called as the testing. That is, you are going to check whether it satisfies the user requirement, checking for the program whether it satisfies the user requirements. In checking, that is in your testing is also called as the validation. So you are going to check your debugging is called verification, your testing is called as the validation. Next you go for program documentation. So what is program documentation? If I want to use a program, so it makes clearly understand to the user, modify it, easy to use it. Such a case, a good program documentation can be reused again. If you are not documented properly, you have to redraw or rewrite the program from the start of the development process. That is algorithm, pseudocode and flowchart. Everything should be done again. Then your last thing, that is your, once the documentation is been done, the last stages of your problem analysis, that is solving, is your program maintenance. So this is nothing but is a new version, that is the document should be, that is maintenance should be done in such a way, new version of the requirement, present requirement of the user should be satisfied. What it all needs, why it's required, for the following reason we have discussed. Today's class will solve all the stages of problem solving. Tomorrow's class will, that is next coming session, we will see the programming constructs, our programming constructs can be done. So till here I will stop the problem analysis. That is your problem solving techniques. Next class we'll see. Thank you one and all.